just to quickly introduce before I hand over to Karen James. This event is, as I'm sure you'll know, is part of Freelance Futures, a summer programme of learning and action for equitable conditions in culture. It's being delivered in partnership with the Freelance Futures Consortia. My name is Becca Pelly-Fry, and I'm producing this series of wellbeing events on behalf of People Make It Work, one of the consortium. I will shortly put a link about me in the chat so that you know more about me and what I offer in terms of wellbeing. Just to give a visual description of myself for the captioner and for anyone visually impaired joining us this evening. I'm a white woman in my early 40s with long dark hair with a kind of white badger stripe through the front. And this evening I'm wearing a white t-shirt with black stars on it. Feeling kind of jolly this evening. So this is the fifth in the series of 7 wellbeing sessions that have been put on this week as part of the online gathering. Each of them is taking inspiration from one of the universe's 5 natural elements, being water, ether, air, fire, and earth. Today's session is inspired by fire, but we're coming to the end of the fire day. So it's a kind of post-fire slowing down, the kind of warmth of the embers, let's put it that way. Just before we start and before I introduce Karen, just a few little bits of information to let you know. This session, as you will have heard from the robotic voice, is being recorded and will be permanently available to view, probably from next week, via the dedicated Freelance Futures YouTube channel, also via the website and the community platform, the Mighty Networks platform. So all of these sessions will be available after they've happened. Today we have Jen from My Clear Text providing live captioning. To access the captioning, please click the CC closed captions button, and it's possible to access it both as a full transcript or as on-screen captions. The final thing to say is that this is a very relaxed environment. It's meant to support your well-being, so please participate however feels best for you. You're very welcome to keep your video on or switch it off. Maybe just keep it on if you can, just for the initial bit to say hello, and then feel free to switch off as we get into the session. If you have any questions at any point, please type them into the chat. We have 2 producers, Ricardo and Nyasha, who are on hand throughout the session. So without further ado, I will hand over to Karen James, a yoga teacher who really specializes in accessibility to yoga. So I'm delighted to have her here this evening. Karen, over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm Karen James. I am a female, black female, 53 years of age, and I am wearing purple pajamas because that's the end of the day, and I always do this kind of practice in my purple pajamas, and I wear glasses. So welcome to the class tonight, which is some yin, some poetry, and as I have an audience, it's my own poetry I'm reading to you, plus one I've specifically written for everybody that's attending this evening. We will then switch over into our Yoga Nidra. And to let you know, you can be seated on a chair, can be seated on the floor, you can be lying down. This is your practice. So however you feel to show up this evening is perfectly okay. You are enough just as you are, that you've turned up here this evening. When we move into the Yoga Nidra, it will be indicated by these chimes that you can hear. And when the Yoga Nidra comes to an end, it will also be with the chimes as well. And know that you are free to leave. If this doesn't resonate with you, I always say that to everybody. If it doesn't resonate with you, know that you don't have to endure, because this is about your well-being. And everything that we do here is optional. I'm here to facilitate the class and not dictate it to you. So that's really important that you know. And day to day, our body changes. So if you're working with any challenges, any discomfort, any injuries, anything that takes you further away from comfort into discomfort, the motto here is no pain, no pain. We move away and out of that. The most important thing is to give yourself the gift of curiosity. to discover what you will achieve this evening or you want to achieve. And to remember that you are the best teachers in the room when it comes to your body. Just very, very important. And if a posture intuitively doesn't feel wise, that you know that you can back off, you can opt out, you can explore. Everything, the autonomy is actually in your hands. So to begin with, to arrive in the space together, to find a comfortable shape for your body. That could be seated, legs crossed. That could be lying down on your back. Your eyes could be open, they could be closed. It is entirely your choice. And we're looking to arrive in the space through an internal or external experience, through our anchors. And through our sensory anchors, that could be the breath. That's something that we're all used to. And could we use the breath to be here and now? Using the breath as an anchor of a way of coming back to this moment. So the external portion of the breath could be that you feel the body moving externally as you take an inhale and an exhale. You notice the belly, the chest, the sides of the body interacting with the clothes that you're wearing. You become a curious observer of the breath. There is no right or wrong way to breathe. It's in your unique rhythm. Perhaps you wish to have more of an internal experience of the breath to allow you to meander through your thoughts, to coexist with your thoughts. We're not trying to clear the mind through the breath. We're here to allow that to anchor us in this moment. So it could be the feeling of the breath in the body. Where do you notice the breath coming in? And where do you notice as it leaves? So perhaps the breath is what resonates with you this evening as a way of anchoring you to the moment. So when the mind does wander, that you can interrupt your thoughts gently with the breath. From the breath, we have sound, the vibration of sound. It could be the universal sound of my voice and anything else that my microphone is picking up in the background. It could be a unique sound within the room that you're in. So often we try to tune sound out, but this time we're allowing sound in to let us know that we are here in this moment. Could it be internal sounds, the sounds of your thoughts? Perhaps your stomach rumbling or a clicking and a popping of a body if you move apart, so long as it's not followed by pain. Is it the subtle sound of your inhale and exhale? So knowing that you have sound, the vibration of sound, the feeling of sound, you also have the body breathing itself. You may switch between the two, or you might find one that really resonates with you in this moment. We also have the support of the surface underneath our body, or if we're leaning on something, what part of the body is in contact with the floor, the chair, the surface that you're on. And do you notice how it feels? Perhaps you need to move to find that connection. So it's also touch. Perhaps it's that internal feeling of being supported, or the physical feeling, the physical touch of the ground. How one side of the body feels compared to the other side. So allowing yourself this moment to connect with the here and now through sound, the support of the surface, allowing gravity to hold you. Or the body breathing itself. What works for you in this moment? And to know the yin meridian of the fire element runs from the chest through down the arms and into the hands. So we're going to move the body slightly. We'll start to move the body in a way to maybe stoke the fire just a little bit before we start to bring that back down. So from here, if you're lying down on the floor or you're lying on your back, supine, you can stay there. If you're seated with me or you're seated on a chair, we're literally going to activate the hands, the wrists. From here, we're just going to imagine we're stirring a pot, just stirring around. Now, if you're lying down, you can have the fingers pointed up towards the ceiling. There could be a bend in the elbows, and you can move from side to side. So all we're doing is just bringing in some movement, knowing that depending on what's happening in your shoulders, how high you lift your arms, entirely up to you. And it can be that the movement is in the upper torso, that you feel as if it's not just the arms, but the upper body just moving. It can be as slow or as dynamic as you feel fit. Just allowing in some movement and knowing that you can stop, pause, notice. And if you're circling, you can circle the other way. So it's having that imagination of a small flame in our body. How do we want to experience this through our own uniqueness? The eyes can be open, closed, gaze lowered, knowing that if they're open, is it an external point that you're fixed on? If the eyes are closed, is it more of an internal feeling that you wish to experience in this moment? And then allowing yourself to slowly come back to your version of stillness. Now, when I mention your version of stillness, it could be that the body is still moving because that brings you internal stillness. So knowing that you don't have to be completely still, especially if moving externally brings internal peace. And reconnecting just momentarily back with your anchor of choice. Is that sound? Is that the support of the surface underneath you? Is that the body breathing itself? And then as the fire is within heart and compassion, the next movement before we start to gradually slow down into stillness is a case of opening up the arms and closing. As if we were opening up to the evening. It may be that you feel your shoulder blades coming together and then moving away from each other. If you're lying down, It could be that you're raising the arms overhead, if that feels okay, or you may be just moving them towards your side and up. But it's just opening up, feeling across the collarbones, across the upper arms, maybe the feeling in the shoulder blades at the back. It could be a movement that you do with your breath if you feel so inclined. And know that you can pause in those moments. You can pause as you're opening up to the evening, opening up to the day, whatever you wish to invite in. And if there's something that you're inviting in, perhaps you feel that energy as you bring the hands towards your body. And knowing that that movement can be dynamic, or it can be as slow as you feel. And the poem that I've written specifically for everybody this evening, the element tonight is fire. How can you tap into your internal desire to appreciate the body you occupy? So take a breath and release a sigh. From here, the journey is yours to own. Know you are never truly alone. Your unique flame burns brightly within. Allow its warmth to begin, to expand and strengthen your view. Accept and grace to ensue. As you transition from shape to shape, enter a phase where you can escape. Not to forget, but reconnect with your body, mind, and intellect. Thank you. And if you haven't already, you can make this movement smaller, smaller, until you find your version of stillness. Remembering your version of stillness could still be an outward movement of the body. And just allowing a little bit of release, maybe shaking fingertips, imagining you were just shaking some water off the tips of your fingers. Allowing that energy that you may feel, see where it takes you. And the postures that we're going to start to hold, we won't be holding them for any longer than 5 minutes. And knowing that you can have that option to come out of those postures at any time that you feel. So the first posture that we're going to go into is eagle arms or a hug. Depending on the abundance of the front body, it may be that you're holding on to your wrists, your elbows, the tops of your shoulders. If it is eagle arms, it may be one elbow comes on top of the other, and it's the back of the hands that touch. It could be fingers or palm to palm, really depends on your unique body. If you're lying down, it may be better or wiser or feel more comfortable to hug. But remember, keeping awareness of the abundance in your front body, allowing yourself to be able to breathe. So finding what works for you. Knowing that you can curve the spine and pull in if you choose. And if the mind wanders away, can you bring it back to your sensory anchor of choice? Knowing that you can readjust your position. And in the moments of silence from me, know that I am still here and I'm still by your side through this journey. whatever shape you choose, can it open a gateway for you to allow in a way to self-soothe, to allow in compassion and kindness for yourself? Is that even a viable option right now? And if it is, how are you able to sustain and guide your path? And if the mind is active, allow it to be active. Notice, come back to being that curious observer of the mind, the body, sensations. Sometimes we hear in classes to listen in, tune in to your body, your sensations. And what is that? What does that mean? Before I give my explanation, we can unfurl our arms wherever they are, coming back to that natural position of the body. Or if you are embraced and you're enjoying the embrace, you know that you can hold it a little bit longer. Just noticing. Perhaps in these transitions between posture to posture, you may wish to move the body. Now, if you can remember which hand was on top, great. If you can't, doesn't matter. It might be the same hand again, or it might be the other hand swapping over. But finding what works for you. If one feels slightly different and unwise, know that you can go back to the other. This is all about options and personal agency this evening. So finding that position, coming back to your anchor of choice to allow you to settle, unfurl and unwrap in your own way. And as I was talking about signals and sensations from the body, and listen to your body, and what does that mean? We receive messages and signals from our body all the time, but we may choose to override them. For example, you might have an itchy nose, but in a moment of stillness, do you override that message and ignore that itchy nose and hope it goes away? You're watching a movie, trying desperately not to fall asleep, even though you're yawning and your eyes and your head's dropping. Do you listen and rest, or do you override the sensation and stay awake? Perhaps talking to someone and you feel a yawn coming and you don't want them to think badly of you, that you are engaged in the conversation. So do you try and stifle the yawn and override it with the signal, or do you let it out? So these are kind of small examples of our body giving us signals, sensations of what to do. And sometimes we listen and sometimes we override. So today we're not going to override anything. We're going to allow those sensations to come through. As always, you are the best teachers in the room when it comes to what your body wants to do in this moment. And then allowing yourself time and space to release your arms, inviting in either stillness to observe and feel any sensations that arise, or any movement into the upper body or the fingers, knowing that any tingling, any compression, any of those type of sensations, we're not going to ignore. We're going to allow ourselves to open up. And the next posture that we're going into, whereas we have closed and brought all that energy in, this time we're going to take our hands behind us just to open the collarbones. Now, if you have a strap, a belt, it may be that you take your hands behind and you hold on to that and feel the shoulder blades coming together. If you're seated on a chair, it may be that you're holding towards the back of the chair and feeling those shoulder blades coming together. You can hold on to your fingers, your wrists, your lower arms. You can have the hands together and pulling the arms away from the body. If you're lying down on your back, and the options here are not to try and overwhelm anybody, it's to let you know that you have more than one option. If you're lying down on your back, you can have the palms on the floor and then bending the fingers towards the body. And the tops of the hands could almost come underneath the body. Having something under your head or something under the arms if the arms coming down feels too much. Also knowing that you may only want to do one side depending on what's happening. Our bodies, same sides, opposite sides might be different. So finding what works for you in this moment. Noticing if you're holding your breath. Sometimes when we concentrate, we might hold our breath. Allowing the opening of the chest. There's no requirement either to force yourself. We don't need to go to the maximum of our movement. A little goes a long way. Have you ever doubted the ability to love, to be kind, a capacity to dream and wander, to explore the grandeur of your soul? What if you discovered the infinite wisdom that transcends you to a place your imagination could never comprehend? Be still, open, listen. For in this moment, all is truly attainable. Knowing that you have the option to release your arms at any time. We don't need to override any sensations that feel unwise to us. We are taking time to pay back into our health bank account this evening. There's so much time we extract from it. Can this be your one opportunity to pay something back into your health account? And from here, releasing the arms, if you so choose. Perhaps inviting in some movement into the shoulders, whether it's circling the shoulders, moving one shoulder up, down. Could be shaking the fingertips as if you were shaking water off the fingertips. What works for you in this moment as you reconnect with your anchor of choice, be that sound, the body breathing itself, or the feeling of the support underneath you. What allows you to be here now, to coexist with any thoughts that are coming into your mind. And from here, the next posture that we're going into is a rotation. And if you're seated, you can imagine from your collarbones down to your knees as if you were creating a rectangle or a square, depending on your body proportions. And then whether you move to the left or right, entirely your choice. But as you rotate the body, could you then imagine that you're creating a triangle with your collarbones and your top of your thigh near your knee? That might give you an indication of how far do I wish to rotate if I'm creating that imaginary triangle. You may wish to rotate a little bit more, which means the triangle might be slightly off kilter. The arms will naturally move, and the gaze can be to the same side that you're rotating. It could remain ahead, or you may wish to turn it in the opposite direction. But again, knowing that there's no requirement to force into this rotation. Are you able to still breathe naturally? And sometimes when we rotate, we think that we need to see to the back of the room where there's no requirement. We're just allowing a gentle twist, your version of a gentle rotation. Noticing anywhere there's tension within the body. Is it in the shoulders, in the jaw? You may or may not be able to do anything about the tension that you're feeling, and that's perfectly okay. We're not here to change anything about you. Your uniqueness, you are enough. Allowing yourself to surrender wherever you can into this shape. And then as you allow yourself to unfurl, feel that spine, the body rotating around to the starting position. Do you wish to invite in some movement of the spine, coming forwards and going back? Do you wish to be in stillness? Do you wish to move from side to side? Remembering we've still got that flame, that fire just inside us, but bringing that down slightly, but knowing this is your opportunity to meet yourself exactly where you are in this moment. And then from here, it could be, depending again on what's going on in your body, it could be that you rotate to the same side. It could be that you choose to rotate to the other side. We don't have to force our body into a shape that it doesn't want to go into. That's the beauty of this class, is finding what works and going with that. And knowing that the eyes can be open, closed, gaze lowered. It may just be the head that's rotating and not the upper torso. Dragon, oozing red fire, eyes black like marble stone, filled with a white raging fury, altering green sweeping vistas to ash. Orange illuminates the sky, whilst bones melt in grey dust. Puce home for the dragon. To provide a delightful and stimulating interaction, art of conversation is such a pleasant distraction. One could not deny makes for an intense attraction, as your mere existence stimulates my satisfaction. This longing comes from a place of positive action. To affirm again, I rejoice in our interaction. And in your time and space, allowing yourself to unfurl, unwrap, to come back to that natural position. Knowing that you can still invite some movement into your body. You could be in stillness. You could be comparing one side of the body to the other. How did that feel? Or if you did the same side again, how does that feel? This is your opportunity to tune in. And if you're not sure how you feel, then that's perfectly fine too. Coming back to your anchor of choice to allow you to be in this moment, whether it's sitting with discomfort, through sensations, or comfort. And the next posture that we're going to go into is what we call butterfly. So if you're seated on a chair, it could be that you bring some cushions, a pillow underneath your heels by your ankles and allow your knees to fall to the side. It could be that you open the legs a little bit wider. And also remembering if there is any vulnerability and that you don't feel particularly comfortable with legs wide, that you can always have a cover, a blanket, a towel just over the front of the body. Seated on the floor, know that depending on what's happening in your hips, you can bring the soles of your feet together and the outer knees can be supported by your blanket, cushions. They don't have to touch the ground. You may also have one sole of the foot on the floor and one supported by cushions, blankets. And the soles of the feet don't have to touch. Again, depending on the abundance that you have in your front body, they could be as far away from each other as you see fit. What fits into your body? Finding that shape that works for you. You may choose to be upright. You may choose to curve into your back. If you're lying down on your back, same principle, soles of the feet on the floor, support on either side of your outer knees, and you can allow them to relax into the cushions, pillows. It's about bringing the ground closer to you rather than you forcing your way down onto the ground. Finding what works for you. Eyes could be open, closed, gaze lowered. And if the mind wanders, let it wander. I'm still here. I'm still by your side through this journey. And from here, wherever you are in time and space, allow yourself to gently, very gently, come back to a starting position. And it may be that it's one leg you bring closer in, sole of the foot on the floor, and then the other. You may choose to bring in some windscreen wiper legs, and that is soles of the feet on the floor and moving those knees from side to side. It could be that you choose to fully extend those knees out and perhaps just wiggle the toes. Whatever works in this moment to just bring some sensation back into those thighs. It might even be that you're rubbing them, just bringing a little bit of movement, sensation back, noticing how you feel. And then from here, in your time and space, finding a position for your body that we're going to transfer over to our Yoga Nidra. So it could be that you're putting on some socks, you're finding a blanket, You can be seated, you can be lying down. There is nothing for you to do in this Yoga Nidra. You have your own permission to move at any stage. I'm here to guide you through the practice, but you don't have to listen to everything I say. It's perfectly fine if you drift off sometimes. Your eyes can be open, closed, gaze lowered, just allowing yourself to be warm, finding your version of comfort. And perhaps my voice will become a safe sound in the background. Know I am always here by your side through your journey. So welcome to all beautiful souls, where a choice has been made to put yourself front and center. Perhaps it's time to rediscover your right to rest, which resides deep within, covered by the complexities of life. A steadfast patience, longing for your recognition and rediscovery. In this moment, can you allow your heart and mind to be open and invite in rest a true compassionate companion? Allow it into the tranquility and essence of who you are. Journeying through Yoga Nidra to embrace your vulnerability and strength. Arriving to the space of knowing. You deserve the nourishment of rest from this Yoga Nidra, and it's a place of being rather than doing. And as I say, you may drift off. If you become overwhelmed in any way, you can move your fingers, you can blink your eyes open. You can always leave as well if this doesn't feel wise for you. As we come to a rotation of a light around the body, to bring your awareness to the center point between your eyebrows. To place a tiny star twinkling here. At each point that follows, you can feel, sense, imagine, or place a twinkling star to the base of the throat, the right shoulder joint, the right elbow joint, right wrist joint, back of the right hand, a twinkling of light from all the way down your arm into the fingers and thumb, landing in the center of the right palm. Allow that star to travel to the right wrist joint, the right elbow joint, the right shoulder joint, and to the base of the throat. The left shoulder joint, that star traveling to the left elbow joint, the left wrist joint, back of the left hand. A twinkle of light from the star travels across the length of the fingers and thumb into the left palm. The star to the left wrist joint, left elbow joint, left shoulder joint, to the base of the throat. That star, that light to the right side of the chest, the center of the chest, to the left side of the chest, down to the navel center, the pelvic center or the base of the spine, the right hip joint, middle of the right thigh, right knee joint, middle of the right calf, the right ankle joint, to the top of the right foot. A twinkle of light from the star reaching into all of the right toes and around to the sole of the right foot. To the right ankle joint, middle of the calf, the right knee joint, middle of the right thigh, the right hip joint, pelvic center or base of the spine. Allow that light to the left hip joint, the middle of the left thigh, the left knee joint, middle of the left calf, to the left ankle joint, the light to the top of the left foot, reaching into all of the toes and around to the sole of the left foot. Now to the left ankle joint, middle of the calf, the left knee joint, middle of the left thigh, left hip joint, pelvic center or base of the spine. To the navel center, right side of the chest, center of the chest, the left side of the chest, base of the throat, to the center point between the eyebrows. Allow, sense, feel, or imagine a constellation of stars in the body, a constellation of stars to the right and left side of the body, a galaxy of stars above and below the body, to observe the body immersed in a sea of star light. As you bring your awareness and light back within you to the anchor of choice, a lightness of sound within or around you, a warmth and light to your breathing, unity of your body on the surface, what allows for gentle, soft focus and a connection to your unique and cherished surroundings. As we come to opposites within the body, to explore any part of the body that may feel a little warmer than the rest. Where is that fire within? And if you can't find a part that draws in your awareness right now, you can choose to focus on the heart and imagine a nourishing warmth right there. And now to explore any part of the body that may feel cooler than the rest. And if you can't find a part that draws in your awareness right now, you can choose to focus on the sensation between your upper lip and nose. Perhaps the air is slightly cooler as you inhale. And I'll bring your awareness back to the sensation and area of warmth. And then back to the area where you noticed a coolness. Interchanging with a gentle focus, and in your time and space, between back to where it feels warm. And imagine that warmth expanding in the body. And when the warmth possibly reaches the area that feels cooler, allow the two to merge. The warmth meets the cool, perfect temperature, allowing yourself an opportunity to foster a gentle balance within. And in this moment, if your mind has wandered, know that I am still here by your side through this journey. Come back to the essence of who you are. Give yourself time and space. Allow yourself to choose to be here and now, to settle into your unique version of tenderness within the Yoga Nidra. There is nowhere else you need to be right now, and nothing that you need to do, only to allow yourself to be here moment by moment. Through your sensory anchor, how can you let more of the whole body be held by the surface beneath you? In the great circle of sound surrounding your body now, what is the quietest sound at your center? What is visible right now through the closed or resting eyelids? What happens to the body when you allow a sigh of your breath to connect deeper within? To a place of possibility that here and now you richly deserve to be held, supported by the earth beneath you, allowing in your version of comfort, peace, and calm. We come back to the quality of your breath. The sounds remain consistent around you. Does the support feel different underneath you? Whichever one of these resonates or seems fitting right now as we begin a tender return. Making your way back through your anchor of choice. Inviting in sensation or feeling of having taken some time for you to enter into your awareness and become part of your lived experience. You may choose to move, or you may wish to stay exactly where you are, finding your own version of comfort and ease. Just allowing the chimes to guide you back to the here and now. Time to gently reconnect with the ground, the earth beneath you, and to know that the practice of Yoga Nidra has come to its natural end. And no matter where you are in time and space, you may still wish to Lying down, seated, you may be inviting some movement back into your body. And just being gentle with yourselves as you come back round to reconnecting with the ground, the earth beneath you. And from my heart to yours, thank you for inviting me and allowing me into your space, your safe space. I don't take that for granted. So thank you very much. And from my heart to yours, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Karen. This is Nyasha Daly, the producer of Freelance Futures, Not a Disembodied Voice. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say that was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us. I've just popped in the chat there. We have 2 more wellbeing sessions this week. We have a grounding meditation tomorrow morning at 8:30, and we have daily dancing, which I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it's 10 minutes of pure joy if you can make either of those. Thank you again, Karen. Lovely to see the thanks coming through in the chat. Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening or day, depending on where you are in the world. So thank you so much.